I still can't get over that house is worth $386,000. I'm going to have nightmares about that now.
Well, maybe not. Remember, I looked at that first house I bought 31 years ago. I paid $68,300 for that.
Yeah, but that has historical value because a famous person lived there once.
Yeah. I'm
You
sure
know,
that
Mark.
affected the price.
I'm Big Mark Wilson, BMW. You may have seen my initials.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
7:23, Mark and Paul checking in, middle of the week, hump day. Folks, I've worked with Paul a very long time, and Paul is a guy that plans things, thinks things, makes rational decisions, but folks, he missed one yesterday. My partner made a mistake. The High Horse had posted their lunch special.
Oh, I know. The prime rib bits on top of mac and cheese.
Southern glazed prime rib bites over macaroni and cheese, scratch-made mac and cheese. Oh, my God.
Did you go eat that?
I did.
Well, good, because I got something on the new dietary guidelines today.
I don't have dietary guidelines.
Oh, yeah, you do. Anything goes. That's Mark's dietary guideline.
Oh. No, we had talked about, we just done the commercial for the High Horse, and then they had the...
It popped up there, didn't it?
Yeah, they got a picture of it posted, because Reed, the owner, normally, he'll have them make up a lunch special, and he'll try a little bit, and then share it with the staff, see what they think. He said, yesterday, I did not share with my staff.
The prime rib bits on mac and cheese? Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you what I made for dessert last night.
Dessert? Look at you, fancy.
Well, and this is so Paul. So before you start laughing, let me premise it by saying that over the weekend on Saturday, I was watching the news programs and they had, oh God, what's her name? The doctor. Beautiful woman. Dr. Sapphire, Nicole Sapphire. Okay. That's it. She was on television, and she was talking about some of the best foods that you can eat that are good for your health, okay. And you should try to eat a little bit of it. So I'm interested. You know, I want to take care of my health, and she had things in there like garlic, blueberries, walnuts, red peppers, stuff like that. Very, very good for you. Not the green ones, but the red peppers. Well, I love red peppers. They're sweet, they're juicy, they're full of water. I just like them. And so I had a can of chunky soup last night, and I had my red peppers with and I slice them and I dip them in ranch, you know, because I really like them. So I did that. But for dessert, I took a couple handful of blueberries and I put some crushed walnuts over it. I chopped up 2 double stuffed Oreos, and then I mixed it all together with whipped cream. Mm-hmm. Son of a buck.
I'm not a blueberry guy, and it still sounds good.
It was good. Huh. It was good. So I got my blueberries, I got my walnuts, and I got my red peppers.
You know, you're just one step away from starting to make smoothies. You could make a healthy smoothie every morning and drink it on the way to work.
Yeah, but there's a problem with it. That creates a dish. And Mark, you know how you and I are about dishes.
I do.
You know, a blender or a whatever you make them in.
They got to you just get the cup that's got the blender in it.
I ain't buying that. I was at Target yesterday, and I looked at something, and I almost bought an extra throw rug, and I didn't. You know, they're $18, and I thought, I don't really need it yet.
Yeah.
So that's just how I am.
Nope.
And so I had my peppers, my blueberries, and my crushed walnuts, and Mark had prime rib bits smothered with macaroni and cheese.
And gonna have it again today.
And Mark, who knows, 10 years from now we'll be going, you know, we're all gathered here today to pay tribute to a man who tried to live his life so well. Oh, God.
Well, then for dinner last night, I heated up what was left of the chicken pot pie from the Brewing Company.
Chicken pot pie. So, Mark, tell me about your day. Tell me about your diet. How's that going? Are you eating well? Yeah, I had, but, you know, we all get to pick and choose. Mm-hmm. That's what's great about America.
You know what? I did really good for about 3 years. But, well, except for you, because you're not like other people.
I'm like other people. God.
But, I eat out more than I eat at home. And every time you go out with that diet, you had to have a steak and a salad or a hamburger patty and salad.
Yeah, meat and salad.
A protein in a salad. And then I was sitting at the Blue Cat one day, and the special for lunch was a smothered prime rib sandwich with gravy so deep you couldn't see the food. I said, I am jumping off the healthy train.
Oh, my God. You needed a submersible to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, food's come a long way. I'm a firm believer, though, in Robert Kennedy's push and quest to make America healthier and to get the bad things out of our food. Mm-hmm. I think he's really onto something there. There's a lot of bad things in our food. Dyes, preservatives, things that aren't good for you. And in the old days, people used to eat potatoes, gravy, meat, eggs, and bacon for breakfast every day, that kind of stuff, bread.
Right.
But it was all pretty much organic and natural stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's different. I'm not a dietitian, but the foods were different back then, way different back then. And I think he's going to do us some good. You want to keep people like Mangione from shooting health insurance company CEOs? Then make Americans healthy again. So you don't need those kind of services. The weight on our medical system and care that's needed for people who have abused and have become unhealthy would diminish. That's another option. But since we're talking about it, I'll get to it here in a second. We talked about it a few weeks ago. What was how many different items in an Albertsons store?
Oh, I don't remember the number.
It was
huge.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
50 years ago, you went in there, there'd be 5,000 different things. Mm-hmm. Now there's 50, 60,000 or however many there are now. But homemade is so much better for you anyway. Yeah. That's why people like my beef it just, stuff you raise in your own garden is different than the stuff you get at the store. I was just telling Mark this morning, I asked Mark if he ate that pumpkin pie that nice lady made for us at Flakesgiving. Folks, that was the best gosh darn pumpkin pie I've ever eaten in my life. And she won the Yellowstone County, the fair contest down there for her pie or something. And oh my God, but it was made from scratch. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Dang, that was a good pumpkin pie. It'd be tough for me during the holidays. Another piece of that or more green bean casserole. But the food's changed.
Yeah.
And
mostly because of the government.
Right.
Getting involved.
And what Americans are willing to spend money on. And Kennedy's going to go after that. And I praise him for that. Let's make people healthy. Let's give people an extra 10 years of good life. Nothing wrong with that. Gotta find this here. I know it's here somewhere. Now, what did I do with that?
Well, while you're looking, announced yesterday the Blue Angels are coming back in 26.
Oh, yeah?
Another air show. Always a very big draw.
26. Summer of 26, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, August.
They still haven't figured out what all those drones are flying over there in New Jersey, places like that.
I watched a thing on Fox this morning. Paul, there's people like you and me out there in New Jersey. Let's shoot one of them suckers down and see who it belongs to.
And the thing about it is the government's giving no one any information.
No, not a peep.
They got to know what they are because, we have FAA rules and regulations. We have radars up and down that they would know what they are, or if they don't know what they are. But a lot of people think they may be spy drones. But if you had a spy drone, why would you put lights on it?
Yeah, exactly.
Fly around and meet FAA requirements with the flashing red on top and stuff. So that doesn't make sense. But they won't tell us what they are. Okay, here you go. Getting back to the first topic of the day. More beans and less meat. Nutrition experts weigh in on U.S. dietary guidelines. Let's see what they say here. Americans should eat more beans, peas, and lentils and cut back on red and processed meats. That's the key there, first of all, processed meats. Processed. There's a difference between deer, elk, eating your own beef, than there is processed meats. And starchy vegetables. Limit your sugars, sodium, and saturated fat. Advice Tuesday, the 2025 edition of Dietary Guidelines. 20-member panel. They weighed in on the growing role of ultra-processed foods that have been linked to all kinds of health problems. It's interesting because President Trump picks a big-name Democrat, Robert Kennedy, to head his Health and Human Service Division and to get on this, and he's been a big advocate of this, and now all of a sudden we're getting all this information coming out about processed foods, this kind of thing. However, the group steered clear of updating any controversial guidance on alcohol consumption. It looks like every other set of dietary guidelines since 1980. Eat your veggies, reduce consumption of foods high in salt, sugar, and fat. Pretty much the same. Balance your calories. Do not overconsume calories, especially from these ultra-processed foods. That's Kennedy's big focus on these processed foods that use things in them. Healthy diet, people age 2 years and older. Vegetables, fruits, nuts, whole grains, fish, vegetable oils, sugar-sweetened foods and beverages aren't good. Low sodium amounts, fat-free, low-fat dairy, that kind of thing. 40 studies they took into consideration. The decision will no doubt bump up against the views of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., nominee to lead the Health and Human Service Department. See, I knew that would be in. That's why they're doing this. Alcohol, 2 drinks a day. Do Americans follow the dietary guidelines? You had to ask that question. 75% of Americans struggling with their weight. You know, I always said, folks, that was the one thing I really appreciated that came from Michelle Obama. She was trying to get our children to eat better.
Yeah.
I was always for that. I praised her for that. Big name Democrat. Yeah, you got to be above that. If it's a good idea, it's a good idea. Doesn't matter where it comes from.
Exactly right.
That's the way Congress needs to operate, and that's the way they need to vote, too, by the way. If it's good for Americans and good for the country, great. If it's not good for your party, screw you. You know, that's not what you're there for.
Celebrate the season at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in the Roadside Event Center.
On Friday, December 13th, join them for Ugly Christmas Sweater Bingo. Then unleash your creativity at the Charlie Brown Christmas Cookie Class by Sweet Sundries on Saturday, the 14th. Wrap up the fun with Christmas movie trivia on December 23rd. Grab your friends, enjoy some drinks, and get in the holiday spirit.
It's all happening at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
New health information for women. U.S. Health Panel has added self-testing option for cervical cancer screening. Women now in their 20s should get a Pap test every 3 years. After that, age 30 to 65, women can get one every 5 years. And now, a lot of those tests can be done by samples that you take yourself. Science gets better, so does our testing. Pretty easy. Already doing it in Australia, Denmark, Netherlands, Sweden. The good news is the deaths from cervical cancers have declined over the past 10 years. Talk to your pediatrician and your doctor about the HPV vaccine now, recommended for preteens. Black women, Native American women, Hispanic women have higher death rates compared to others. That's another thing, folks. If you're going to be a transgender, you got to go in and get a Pap smear. You damn right. You want to look like then you want to be a woman, right, ladies?
If you want to be a Chevy and you came out of Ford.
That's right. All these ladies are said, damn right. You want to be a lady, then you got to be a lady, right, Mark?
That's right.
You got to be a lady. So, getting better that way. Little health information for you to start the morning. By the way, I came down 27th Street today. Does a person that has that somewhat faded yellow house right next to Hardee's on 27th Street, do you know they sell paintbrushes at Home Depot or Ace Hardware? You know that, right? And they're not that expensive. You could get a pack of 5 at Tractor Supply for like $6. You know they sell Have you seen that house?
I haven't paid attention to
Well, next time you go up there, you look at that little yellow house right next to Hardee's. It's on the north side of Hardee's there. I'm almost to the point where I'm going to stop there after work and paint 10 square feet of it every day for them. Please. You know, our city, we spend all this money making our entryways into our city look inviting and welcome to Billings and put Buffalo up and all that. And then we got crap like that. Buy a paintbrush. You know, that's a one thing you can do your house that isn't really that much money. Yeah, paint has gone up.
Paint's gone up, but if you paint your house yourself, yourself.
Just paint a little of it each time or something. Oh my God! Can you Zillow that and see what that house is worth, Wilson?
I can find it.
It'd be on 27th Street, just north of Hardee's. So I would imagine it would have a house number of between 6 and 7. Obviously, if it's between 6 and 7, and it's a great neighborhood. Are you kidding me?
I just put North 27th Street, and that house popped up.
That yellow house.
Yeah.
Can you see it there?
Yeah.
Let me take a look at it. Oh yeah, that's it. Look at that thing.
If they were to sell it, you know what the price is?
No, I'm gonna guess 79,000.
389.6.
You are crapping me. What?
Imagine what you get if you painted it.
Oh my God! That's more than you paid for your house.
It is.
Well, it's in a medical corridor,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so they're valuing the lot.
Right.
Oh my gosh!
But, that could use a coat of paint or two.
Yes, it could. Folks, you got to look at that when you go by it. I mean, oh my God. It looks like somebody took a machine gun to it. Oh.
The bad news is you live on one of the busiest streets in the state, close to a fire department, so that's always going off. The good news is you can walk to Hardee's, you can walk to your doctor's appointments.
Your neighbors change around the clock
Yeah, no
in that
kidding.
neighborhood.
389.
Oh my God.
Dear Lord.
Oh, man. Jeez. Well,
Well, driving by there, and if you've had to go in anywhere in that medical corridor, it seems like there's a lot of medical buildings, and then you get an aerial view on Zillow. It's even bigger than I thought.
the medical area?
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge.
And St. V's is going to build a bigger hospital.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Where are they going to build that? Do you know?
Yes, just east of where they are now.
Is there a lot there or something? or-
There's a good-sized parking lot.
Oh, yeah. They'll tear that lot up
Right.
and start the hospital there.
Which, during the duration of that construction project, in an area that was already challenged for parking, that is going to be a
Yep.
nightmare.
Yeah, but it will...
I wish they would have kept the old Pizza Hut up there. I know that the hospital's got that land, but that was an old Pizza Hut, and I want to say it was 1962, and our buddy Gary Stoppel poured the foundation for that.
Yeah. It...
And it was never too busy. Hospital people could go have a pizza, salad
Well, it was
bar.
by the college, too, so
Yep.
they always had that to rely on. I talked to Jake last night. Jake and his wife, they probably are going to induce her either sometime today or tomorrow, and they want to avoid the rush over the weekend out there, and so that'll be big. It's appalling that people are making that Mangione, who shot the CEO of United Health, a hero. This is, folks, the result and work of your educational and university systems.
I would agree with that.
And I know you think that's harsh, but there's only one way, folks. There's only one way that any of us can become what we become. You either have to be raised, taught, or learned.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way you can become that way. And so why do so many of the younger generation, 25 and younger, why are they like this? There's only that explanation. There's only one way you can become. There's only one way Mark became what Mark became, or I became what I became, or you folks. You're raised, you're taught, and you're educated in that direction. It's the only explanation. There's no other way. So it's what your teachers presented you, it's what your parents presented you, it's what your university professors have done to you, and it's what you've picked up on your own through social media and other things now. That's the only way you become what you have become.
Right.
So really, starting back in the 60s, it started. Their strategy to control the education university systems, it worked. They were able to form, manipulate, and educate and teach people the way they wanted them taught. That's why the curriculum was so important. That's why I read all of School District 2's books. Some were crap. Some were really good. That's how you do this. Where do these kids come up with this then, right? Where do these kids who are 22, 23, who are screaming about this and the cost of health care? Well, for one, you're dumbasses and you don't know. You don't put two and two together. Plus, how are you taught? How are you educated? And how are you raised? You were raised, taught, and educated that wealth is bad. Capitalism is bad. Big corporate money is bad. This is the way they're taught now. But it's good if you have it.
Yeah.
They're not taught that. The system is unfair. It's not balanced. This is how they're taught now. That's the only way you can become that way, folks. It's the only way I became the way I became, and you the way you are. It's how you were raised, how you were taught, and how you were educated. That's why we've seen such an increase in all of this among youth. No doubt about it. Then as you get older and you mature and your experiences grow, then you start to change. You can see results of hard work, things like that, investment, all those kind of things. And it goes against your upbringing. Sometimes, though, that's not powerful enough to trump what you've learned earlier. Pardon the pun, but it just is. And that's why all these Nimrod kids out there hailing this kid as a hero. He walked up and murdered a man in cold blood on the street because he was the head of a group. Or you know how many people they hire? You know how much they put into an economy? And besides, as I mentioned yesterday, nobody has tied any of this to what has been done to health insurance companies across the nation because of Obamacare. We all know it. Yeah. You folks know it. We talked about it yesterday. You all know the premium and things. Excuse me, your doctor you've had for 20 years, let's talk about the ladies, your obstetrician, your gynecologist, your lady doctor that you've had for 20, she's not in our network, but I want to keep her. She knows my body. She knows sorry, not in your network.
Right.
And so you go and you start killing CEOs for health insurance companies. They got to follow the rules. They have rules, by the way. How come nobody kills anybody who's a professional athlete that charges and costs their owners of their company hundreds of millions of dollars? That's never brought up. But if a CEO makes a lot of money of a company, in America, you're allowed to earn anything you negotiate.
That's right.
Anything. But once again, it all goes back to how you were educated, what you've learned, and how you were raised. That's what forms these people. That's what makes them. It's what makes all of us. That's why it's so important. Folks, you got to get control of your school board, your Montana Board of Education, all that kind of stuff. It's so important, so important.
Celebrate the season at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in the Roadside Event Center.
On Friday, December 13th, join them for Ugly Christmas Sweater Bingo. Then unleash your creativity at the Charlie Brown Christmas Cookie Class by Sweet Sundries on Saturday, the 14th. Wrap up the fun with Christmas movie trivia on December 23rd. Grab your friends, enjoy some drinks, and get in the holiday spirit.
It's all happening at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
Nobody raised hell, though, about Soto's $750 million contract he just signed, did they?
No.
Nobody's shooting anybody.
No. And that contract could be more depending on how he plays it out.
You know, I did some figuring on that, folks. He's going to make $50 million plus a year.
Right.
All right? That's what he's going to make. $50 million a year. All right? Now, I want you to think about this. And he's going to play for the Mets. The Mets have 82 home games. 82 home games. If the cheapest ticket that you could get in Met Stadium, all these stadiums around America, they have cheap tickets still. You can sit in the nosebleed seats, all that kind of stuff if you want in these stadiums. If the cheapest ticket at that place was $25 for the ticket, all right? If that was the cheapest ticket and there are 82 home games, to pay his salary, the Mets would have to sell 24,390 seats every game just to pay Soto.
Jeez.
Almost 25,000 seats have to be sold per game at $25 just to pay his salary. Now, sure, a lot of the tickets are higher, but just think of that. Nobody around the country complaining about those kind of things, are they? No, they're not. No. They all wish they could change spots with him.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Washington Nationals at the Mets in June the 17th. Tickets $25 each.
Yep, see, there you can buy cheap tickets.
You can put yourself in the Metropolitan box for $9.21 a piece.
$9.21. But and that's just to pay one player.
Yeah.
That, you know how many people are hired by the Mets that work concessions, groundkeepers, front office, they got to sell $24,025 tickets just to pay one man. Nobody's killing anybody over that. And yet all these people are going online. News, folks, news networks, CNN and others, sympathetic for the killer. Folks, he shot a family man with 2 kids in cold blood on the street.
Cold-blooded killer. That's all it was.
And why? Why are they taking this point of view? Why are they going along those lines? Well, I can tell you why. They were either educated, they were raised, or they learned the things that led them into that direction. That's it. That's why it is so important. Why do you think they don't teach people about the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, about the Abolitionist Party, about segregation, about the real truth behind the Democratic Party, the Ku Klux Klan, how they were founded? Why do you think they don't teach any of that in our schools? You know why, and I know why, but they don't. And these people have become the people they have become by what they have learned, how they were educated, and how they were raised. That's simple. That's simple. And monkey see, monkey do. You know, your parents are like that, then you're gonna be that way. I'm my father's son. Mark's his father's son. There's no doubt about it.
100%.
I've learned my frugality and just common sense thinking and stuff from him. And Mark learned about prime rib bits and macaroni and cheese from his dad. Didn't you, Mark?
Yes, I did.
His dad come to town, man, there was nothing he liked better than heading to, what's the deep fried place out there?
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel. Oh, yeah.
Every visit my dad ever came to see me.
You went to the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
See?
And then there was the one year we went for lunch, and he wanted to go back for dinner. Said, I'm not eating there twice in one day.
Dad, please.
Even when I was young, I couldn't do that.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yep. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. See, a guy by the name of Jason Isbell will be singing at the Alberta Bear Theater. Do you know anything about him, Mark?
I've never heard his music. It's Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, and he has played a lot of concerts opening up for Sheryl Crow. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But I've never heard his songs. I've heard the name, and I've seen his name on the ads for Sheryl Crow stuff.
Yeah. Tongue River Reservoir State Park has 3 new cabins available for rent year-round beginning this month. That's a good way to make sure your company never comes back again. If they want to visit, say, I've rented a cabin down at Tongue River Reservoir in January. Let's go down there. It's beautiful.
Well, it's going to be peaceful.
It is a frozen hole in the earth down there. It's all that's there. It's all that's there. Do some ice fishing or something. Where I live and how I live, it's like living in a cabin every day for me. And
first time I took the 4-wheelers out to help Paul move cows, I could not make my daughter understand, and she was about 8 or 9 at the time. I couldn't make her understand why Paul's cows didn't live next to Paul's house.
That's right. I got everybody else's cows living next to my house, but big playoff game this weekend for the Cats, taking on the Vandals. See a lot of people online trying to sell some tickets. Can't go or something like that, and so you can still get tickets if you want to go to that this weekend. Everybody's trying to guess at this point, folks, whether Joe Biden, who nobody knows. I saw some footage of him yesterday. That man is so far gone. They should have invoked the 25th on him 2 years ago. Yeah. And it's not by his fault. Shame on his wife. She knows cognitively what he's suffering through. Stumbles and stammers, can't read his speech, doesn't know where he's going. His health is diminished awfully. And he's supposed to be running the country in this most tumultuous time we're in right now with World War III about to break out and him causing a lot of it. Everybody's trying to guess if he's going to give full pardons to all of his crooked people that he has in the DOJ, the Secret Service, the FBI. We all know their stories. And once again, you may not, because it all depends how you're educated, what you learned, and what you've sought out for your information. New poll came out yesterday. Headline today, Associated Press. Only 2 in 10 Americans approved his decision to pardon his son Hunter. 2 out of 10. I'm not so sure it's that high, but it is 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 pardon his kid. And by doing so, he protects his own ass, and he protects his brother, everybody else in the family that were getting dollars from the Ukraine, China, Russia oligarchs, all of them. It's all there for you to learn. Remember, it's what you learn, how you're educated. It's all there. And he's been a schmuck his whole life, been involved in criminal activity. You know, of all the things that piss me off, it's with him. Look, we all battle demons. Everybody can battle a demon. Could be alcohol. Could be drugs, could be gambling, could be porn, could be uncontrollable spending. You know, everybody has a problem. I get it, and he did. I can almost deal with that. The one that I can't deal with is why he gets pardoned and doesn't have to pay his $1.3 million in federal income tax. You remember the big Democrat thing. No one is above the law except for the Bidens. And if that were you out there listening right now, or it was me, the IRS would be knocking at your door. They'd seize your property. They would put liens on your income. They would do everything. And that man just helped a member of his family get out of a $1.3 million bill that he owes to the government. That's one of the biggest things that fry me. That and the fact that when his brother went to serve overseas, he started doing the big trick with his brother's wife. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
That's pretty low.
Funny how that didn't get a lot of coverage.
Yeah, but, well, Mark, hell, that's... Once again, it all goes back to what you've learned, how you're educated, and how you were raised.
Yep.
That's no biggie. To me, that's a biggie. To Mark, that's a biggie.
It is.
To others, it's a biggie. But the taxes, folks, you and I, anyone else in America, you imagine, folks, what they would do to a CEO of a company that didn't pay back taxes? Ooh. Why, they put them on the news, put them on every paper in America. Why? Well, they're trying to make the point about CEOs.
Yeah.
See? And here we are, all of us. We're all up this morning, 8 after 6. We're all busting our ass, going to work. We're working today till noon to pay all this government tax. We're all working today till noon. You remember, you don't get to keep anything till you get back to lunch, from lunch. 1 to 5. That's what you get to keep. And he just wrote him a get-out-of-jail-free card for not paying $1.3 million in taxes. He's got the money. He's got the money. What he didn't put up his nose or spend on hookers or anything else like that. He's still got money left. No, but yours are due. Yours are due. Twice a month, yours are due. Biden said this was a miscarriage of justice. No, it's not. He didn't pay his taxes.
No.
He didn't pay his taxes. Why don't we get out of paying our taxes $1 million worth? That'd be great. Why don't we give everybody $1 million off of your federal income taxes for however long it takes you to do it? Wouldn't that all be nice?
That'd be very nice.
Yeah, damn right. We wouldn't need welfare. We wouldn't need Social Security. We wouldn't need any of that if they didn't take half of our money to start with. But depending on how you're educated and what you learn, that's what we have to do. But that's a one thing to get. But 2 in 10, only 2 in 10 approve it. And wait till the other ones come, because they're going to come before the end of the year. Obama and his team haven't got together yet and decided who they're going to pardon, but they'll give him the push. So wouldn't it be nice if we all had a little chunk of our federal income tax? Why, hell, we could all pitch in and buy paintbrushes for the guy on 27th Street up here so he could paint his damn house. After all, you know, Mark, that's worth what? $386,000? He's going to have to pay capital gains tax on that.
Yeah, but yes, he is.
Oh, my God. I want you folks to drive by there and look at that house today.
The house next to Hardee's.
Oh, my gosh. We got to get him some paintbrushes. Oh, jeez. It's awful.
Hey, we'll get rolling with first news.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.